Over the past year, Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy have literally been headline partners. In this video, we're going to talk about what the pair have pulled this time around. Apparently, McIlroy confessed that a week before the 2022 Open Championship of St. Andrews, both he and Woods had COVID-19. He stated that the symptoms began on Thursday, July 7th, and we've got more on this for you. First up, who gave it to who? Rory McIlroy's performances in 2022 were as outstanding as any season in his 13-year professional career, and that was before revealing a twist that occurred in July. He hadn't discussed this previously, but now there's something he'd like you to know. What we already knew about the 33-year-old Northern Irishman was that he won 3 titles and finished in the top 5 12 times in 22 starts this year. The lad also won the DP World Tour Season Long Points Championship, the FedEx Cup on the PGA Tour, and reclaimed the top spot in the official World Golf Ranking. Impressed? That's just what he did on the field. Off the field, he stood out as a clear, strong, and passionate defender of his 2 home tours during the rise of LIV Golf, the contentious Saudi-backed organization that tried to disrupt the pro golf ecosystem by stealing some of the finest players in the sport. Now, that's stuff you've probably heard before, but what you probably didn't hear was that McIlroy contracted COVID a week before the 150th Open at St. Andrews, and he may have given it to Tiger Woods. Now, here's how it happened. According to a story, McIlroy told Paul Kimmage in an interview with the Irish Independent he and Tiger went to play a game of golf at Ballybunion 2 days after they both participated in the JP McManus Pro-Am at Ireland's Adare Manor. The day in question was July 7th, the Thursday before the Open at the Old Course, and according to McIlroy and Woods, they took a helicopter to get to Ballybunion to play a quick round that morning. They were also accompanied by Rob McNamara, a close comrade of Tiger, and McIlroy's manager, Sean Flaherty. McIlroy claims in the interview that he woke up that morning feeling a little achy but thought he was good to go. But that changed quickly as he started to feel stiff and worn out upon arriving back at Adare Manor. Next, he spoke to his wife and told her how he felt weird and wanted to lie down for a while. Then he claims to have fallen asleep, but the worrying bit was how he woke up drenched in sweat, and of course, his body's temperature was skyrocketing. After that, he claims to have called Tiger to tell him about his situation, but Tiger seemed to be doing okay. Until a few hours went by and he texted McIlroy around 10 p.m. telling him how he was experiencing chills and a high fever. So yes, that was when he realized he didn't just have COVID, but had also given Tiger COVID. The Irishman didn't say whether he tested positive for COVID in the interview, but he did mention that he quarantined himself at Adare Manor rather than traveling to St. Andrews as scheduled. Moving on, with McIlroy and Tiger heading into the Open affected by the pandemic, Cam becomes the man. In a shocker, at St. Andrews, Cameron Smith stormed his way into history on the Old Course, defeating Rory McIlroy to win the British Open. It also sent the Australian to his first major. The stage was set for McIlroy to win the 150th Open and cap off a week of festivities at the home of golf by snapping an 8-year majors winless streak. But Smith wasn't having it. He stole the spotlight by starting the back 9 with 5 straight birdies and adding more crucial strokes at the finish. His final round of 8 under 64 was the best by a champion in the 30 times the oldest champion in golf has competed at St. Andrews. Cameron Young, who made a 15-foot eagle putt on the last hole, finished second to Smith by 1 stroke. It just wasn't enough, and neither was anything McIlroy could pull. He was unable to sink an early putt. He just couldn't get it close enough. His final strong chance was a birdie try from 15 feet at the terrifying road hole at number 17, which just missed to the left. Smith's tee shot landed at the front of the 18th green, where he made a 10-foot putt to save par on the 17th. His movement up the slope and toward the cup from a distance of 80 feet was almost flawless, allowing him to finish at 20 under 268 with a tap-in birdie. Finally, with COVID and the British Open behind him, it's time for Tiger Woods to take the reins as a leader off the field. There's one surefire way for the PGA Golf to continue pulling top professionals from across the globe, and that is more Tiger. The tour right now could use a healthy, competent, and active Woods, but that's no longer possible. Because of his physical constraints, Woods can only compete a few times a year, one of which being this week's 20-man exhibition in the Bahamas, benefiting his foundation. So the next best thing would be for Woods to become somewhat more visible. What we mean is that he needs to be a leader now. We haven't heard from one of sports' most influential figures since the Open Championship in mid-July. At St. Andrews, he delivered a stinging rebuke to LIV Golf, which is led by Greg Norman, who, well, let's just say he and Woods have never been close. On that particular day, Woods berated the tour players who had quit and questioned them openly as to how anyone else could even consider it, given the uncertainties surrounding the future major participation of the defectors. And of course, his comments attracted worldwide attention, just as they so often do. But hey, Woods' statements alone won't be enough to stop the stream of players signing with LIV. Patrick Reed and Bryson DeChambeau worshipped Woods, but still left. But this is a rare chance for Woods to give them pause and to help clarify what the tour's future will and should look like, even if he won't be a significant part of it. Now on to Tiger Woods' ex-coach hitting out at Cameron Smith's OWGR position. First up, Hank Haney has blasted the new golf ranking system yet again. Haney, 67, thinks the world rankings will swiftly spiral out of control when LIV Golf star Smith, who's presently rated third, drops to somewhere around position 50 due to the LIV Golf Tour events remaining shut out, at least right now. Major champions and former world number 1 golfers Dustin Johnson and Brooks Koepka, who are currently ranked 38th and 48th in the OWGR, went through the exact same thing. Haney, who coached Woods from 2004 to 2010, carrying him to victory in 6 major championships, has pointed out something extremely unsettling. He brought light to how over the next few months, Cameron Smith could possibly be ranked 50th in the OWGR. Jeez, he's literally one of the best players out there, and he's at, what, number 50? That's just crazy. Haney rebuked the system, saying if they want to be called the official world golf rankings, they should learn how to list the top players in the correct order. Is he wrong though? Next, here's why Haney's tweet is making rounds. Haney's latest OWGR tweet comes just as Smith is on the cusp of yet another win in 2022. But because the Australian PGA is a part of the DP World Tour this week, along with the Joburg Open in South Africa, Smith will be rewarded for his efforts on Monday morning with some much-needed points for his world ranking. Smith joined the Saudi-backed LIV Golf Tour just weeks after getting his name written on the claret jug for the first time in his career at St. Andrews in July. Recently, he discussed his choice and the efforts Rory McIlroy made to keep him on the PGA Tour, but Smith eventually did fall for a $140 million contract with LIV Golf. Now, we often hear him complaining about the global rankings, and understandably so. He also passionately argues that LIV Golf players should be allowed to compete in 2023's 4 major tournaments. Finally, the beef runs deep. It's not the first time this season that Haney has gone off on the world rankings. He came pretty hard back in August too. But if we're being honest, there's more than just resentment about the OWGR over on LIV Golf at the moment. We're also sensing frustration on the PGA Tour, both before and after winning a 3rd DP World Tour championship. Don Rahm made fun of his own status in the world rankings. He lashed out, calling the OWGR a joke after pointing out how despite going 2-1 to 4-1 in his last 4 worldwide starts, he'd still hold down 5th place in the standings. Ouch, that's gotta hurt. Lastly, the Spaniard's most recent victory came in a 50-man season finale on the DP World Tour, which meant a lack of points, and he found that extremely unfair given the strength of the field he was competing against at Jumeirah Golf Estates. That's a wrap for this video. Do you think Rory's game was affected due to contracting COVID beforehand? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you at the next one.